Dear students, good evening. Today we are going to discuss about Sultan Zainal Abidin's contribution in the field of literature, learning, and education. As you know that Zainal Abidin is popularly known in Kashmir as Badshah. He was having a contribution in each and every field, in the field of arts, in the field of crafts, in the field of horticulture, agriculture, in the field of education, in the field of architecture, etc. His period is considered to be the most developmental phase during medieval times, and his rule is termed as to be the peaceful rule, which led to the promotion of arts, crafts, and development of education, development of agriculture as well. Before we study his contribution in the field of literature, learning, and education, let me give you a brief introduction regarding Zain Labadin's personal life and his family and other affairs. Zain al-Abidin was the son of Sultan Sikandar. He was having elder brother in the name of Ali Shah. Zain al-Abidin was born in 1401 according to the sources. In 1413, when Sultan Sikandar died, he was succeeded by Ali Shah, his son, and Ali Shah made Zain al-Abidin as his prime minister. Later, Sultan Ali Shah willingly declared Zain al-Abidin as the Sultan, and he himself went to Makkah for pilgrimage. While reaching Jammu, he changed his decision, returned back, and dethroned Zain al-Abidin. Zain al-Abidin was exiled from Kashmir, and Zain al-Abidin escaped to Sialkot, where he gets support from a chief known as Jasrath. It was Jasrath who sent his men to help him in 1420, and a battle between Ali Shah and Zain al-Abidin was fought at Thana in Rajouri. Sultan Zain al-Abidin managed to defeat Ali Shah and was declared as the new ruler of Kashmir. It is being believed that he was welcomed by the people of Kashmir because of his concern for the welfare of his subjects and because of his ability, capability, and capacity to develop each and every sector of Kashmir. Zain al-Abidin, according to the sources, was a fair complexioned man. He was having long hair. He was having North Indian morphological features. A well-built person. He was a staunch Sunni Muslim, used to offer prayers 5 times a day, and used to kept fasting during the holy month of Ramadan. He never indulged himself into luxuries, wine, woman, or music, etc. He promoted arts and crafts. He promoted agriculture. He promoted this literature, education, etc. And majority of the men who helped him to promote such activities were non-Muslims. Sources used to say us that majority of his courtiers and nobles were non-Muslims. He did not make any discrimination on the basis of color, caste, creed, and language. Zainul Abidin was having a wife, a beloved queen, Taj Khatun, and it was Taj Khatun who acted as his guide and advisor. Zainul Abidin was having four sons from Taj Khatun: Haji Khan, Adam Khan, Jasrat, and Bairam Khan. His early period after becoming the ruler with Taj Khatun was happy and peaceful, but after the death of Taj Khatun, his four sons revolted against him, and his last 20 years went through misery, which has been recorded by him in a book known as Shikayat. As we are going to study his contribution in the field of literature, language, and learning, let me tell you that the most influential person which was promoted and patronized by him was Jonah Raja. Jonah Raja was the court poet of Sultan Zainul Abidin, a historian. He wrote Rajatarangni. He also wrote commentaries on Krit Arjuniya of Bharvi, Shri Kantha Charita of Mankha, and Prithviraj Vijaya, a historical poem of Rajanaka. Another person which was given due respect by him in his court was Shri Vara. Shri Vara was a scholar of both Persian as well as Sanskrit, and he also composed a book known as Janaraj Tarangni. Shri Vara translated Mullah Jami's Yusuf Zulaikha, a masterpiece in Persian literature. It was translated by him into Sanskrit. Yudha Bhatta wrote Jana Prakash. Avatar Bhatta, another person, wrote Jana Vilasa, Jana Tarang, and he also translated parts of Shahnama of Firdausi into Sanskrit. A Persian Muslim writer, Mansur bin Muhammad, wrote Kifai Mujahidiya, a book on medicine. He also wrote Tasrih bi Taswir, a treatise on the anatomy of the human body. Another greatest scholar during his times was Pandit Nathaswama. He wrote several books in Sanskrit language. Sultan Zainul Abidin patronized Persian writers, philosophers, dramatists. One among them was Mullah Ahmad. He translated Mahabharata, Dasavatara, and Rajtarangni into Persian. A huge gathering of Muslims from Persia were patronized by him, like Ahmad Mullah Fasihi, Mullah Ahmad Rumi, Mullah Nuruddin, Mullah Nadiri, Sayyid Muhammad Luristani, Sayyid Muhammad Sistani, Qazi Sayyid Ali Shirazi, Maulana Kabir. The Maulana Kabir was a person who was later on made by Sultan Zainul Abidin as the principal of a university which was established by him. Sultan Zainul Abidin himself wrote several books, and one among them was written by him about fireworks. He had left a divan of his verses and had wrote a book known as Shikayat, which gives us a theme about the vanity of the human wishes. Sultan not only patronized Hindus and Muslims, Hindu and Muslim scholars, but ladies were also Lady writers were also patronized by him. One among them, the notable figure in his court was Lashmi Khatun. Sultan Zainul Abidin, for the promotion of literature and this learning, established a translation bureau, and that translation bureau was headed by a person known as Bodhi Bhatta. Huge amount of books were translated from Arabic into Sanskrit and Sanskrit into Persian and Kashmiri. Scholars who were having proficiency in Arabic, Sanskrit, Persian, and Kashmiri were patronized and paid by the Sultan himself. Somabhatta was a person who translated books in that translation bureau. One among the books which was translated by him was Zanacharit. Bodhi Bhatta also translated several books, and one among the books which he translated into Persian was Bahrul Asmar. Shirivara also translated books, as I said earlier, that he translated Yusuf Zulaikha, and that Yusuf Zulaikha Mullah Jami was translated by him from Sanskrit, from Persian into Sanskrit, and named it Kathak Kanthaka. Sultan not only established a translation bureau, but he established libraries as well. A library was established by him in Srinagar. This library was having a huge collection of books and manuscripts which were brought from different regions of Kashmir, not only Kashmir, but from different regions of the world. Books from India, manuscripts from India, Persia, Iraq, Turkestan, China, Tibet were brought and put into that library for the public use. Sultan Zainal Abidin, in order to get the manuscripts from different lands, sent his men and instructed them to purchase the books from the owners, and if the owners refused to sell the books, secure the transcribed copies and pay the copyists generously. This shows how much concern Sultan was having for the literature and language of Kashmir. These libraries, which were established by him, were thrown open to the people, and they were free of cost for every person. Sultan Zainul Abidin, as I said you, that he was a scholar himself and had wrote several books in Kashmiri as well as in Persian. Now, this was his personal experience for the development and promotion of literature and learning. Now, let me tell you about his contribution towards the development of education. Sultan Zainul Abidin established a university, full-fledged university in Navshar. That university which he established was thrown open to the people, thrown open to the education, and so students from Kashmir and from outside Kashmir were given admissions into that university. The university, which was established by him, was headed by Mullah Khabir. It has been recorded by the chroniclers that Sultan himself used to hear the lectures of Mullah Khabir in that university, which was established by him in Navshari, Srinagar. As you might be aware that during medieval times, education was wholly and solely dominated by madrasas and maktabas, which were religious dominated, where subjects were taught from a religious perspective or from religious bent of mind. Mostly Hadith and Quran were studied in madrasas and maktabas, but for the first time, a university was established by him, and other than religious books, other than religious syllabus, history, theology, philosophy, and mathematics were taught in that university to the students. Not only university was established by him in Srinagar, but several colleges were established by him in different regions. One among the colleges was established by him at Anantnag, and Mullah Ghazi was appointed as the principal of that very madrasa or college. Sultan not only established colleges in Kashmir, but for the promotion of education outside Kashmir. Once on a visit to Sialkot, Sultan contributed 6 lakh rupees for the development of education there, and his queen also used to give valuable jewelry for the development of education and for the establishment of the universities and madrasas. Not only madrasas, not only universities were established by him, large number of hospices, khankas were established by him, where mullahs and maulanas were given the chance to taught the students for the betterment of the educational development in the valley. Sultan Zainul Abidin's education was having a different character than the rulers who were ruling during medieval times. Let me tell you some of the chief features of his education which he promoted under his during his tenure. His education was free and readily available to the students. Students were provided free boarding and lodging facilities besides free education and access to libraries. Sultan established colleges, universities at different places in Kashmir, as I said you earlier, and the students from both Kashmir and outside were allowed to study in these universities without any charges. In all the educational institutes, secular syllabus was focused upon, other than religious subjects, secular subjects like philosophy, history, mathematics were taught to the students. Education was not provided to prepare candidates for getting jobs, but the basic aim was to create an intelligent and educated class which will work for the establishment of a healthy society. This was the basic motive of Sultan Zainul Abidin for the development of education. Education was provided on non-sectarian basis. No discrimination was made on the basis of color, caste, and creed. Everyone was allowed to get free and fair education. No discrimination was made on the basis of the religion. Equality was there in the education and educational institutes. Free libraries were established by him, where huge collection of books were provided to the students, and that too free of cost. Scholarships were provided to the students, and wherever needed, these scholars were extended to the students who came from different lands other than Kashmir. Talented students and deserving students, they were always provided scholarships and rewards by the Sultan himself. This was the contribution of Zainul Abidin in the field of education, literature, and learning. Tomorrow, uh, we will study his contribution in the field of arts and crafts. Hope that you will go through this lecture and try to grab important pointers from it. Thank you.